Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. We will be presenting Business Ethics and Corporate Governance, which is CRG650. Our movie is Kingsman, The Golden Circle. So, myself is Raja Faizalnya Beraja Makiruddin.
My name is Nur Izzati binti Naim.
My name is Siti Nuraziha binti Johari.
And me, Mira Shazana binti Mat Samingan. So as stated before, we had chosen Kingsman, The Golden Circle as our movie review for this subject. So let's start with the synopsis of the movie. The film begins with Axie from his way back from the Kingsman teller shop. He is ambushed by Charlie Heathgate, a rejected Kingsman candidate. Axie escaped them in a car chase through London, but Charlie's robotic arms was cut off in a battle and stayed in his car and attacked Kingsman server through the car's computer and obtained agent information. When Axie was having dinner with his girlfriend and family, Poppy Adams, the leader of the world's largest drug trafficking group, fired a missile, destroying Kingsman headquarters and killing all the agents except Axie and Merlin. The team learned about the secret behind the Kingsman after accidentally shooting Valentine, the statesman person. They also learned that Harry, the former group of the organization, has amnesia. In her next mission, Poppy reveals that she had added a toxin to all of her drugs, which will cause users to die. She demands that US President grant her immunity from prosecution so that she can continue operating as a drug lord. They track their secret hideout using a tracking device, but it gets broken by Whiskey when he tries to attack the Golden Circle henchman. After facing the death of Merlin, they secure the laptop that will deliver the antidote globally. But when Poppy accidentally overdoses, she gives them the password for the laptop that will allow them to activate all the drones. So that's all for the summary of Kingsman.
Okay, thank you, Mira. So, moving on to stakeholder engagement, the Golden Circle. So, I will be divided into internal stakeholder and external stakeholder. Next. For internal stakeholder, there are employees in this movie. So, it is the main character itself, the Gary Axie and Win. Although he is having dinner with his in-law family, when he received call duty from Kingsman headquarters, he prioritized his work and end up leaving in a hurry. And then Merlin, see, he is an expert in technical. He always help his employee or agent, especially Axie, whenever he is in trouble. So the state of this employee are salary and membership status. If Axie and Merlin do not perform their job and find solution to save Kingsman, they will lose their job and reputation. Hence, it will affect also their salary as well. Next. Okay, for the competitor, which is the Golden Circle, so the main villain in this story, which is Poppy Adams, the owner of the Golden Circle and organizer of drug cartel. She wants to destroy Kingsman in order for her goal to make her business be legal and distribute drug all over the world. So the stake for Poppy Adams, the owner of the Golden Circle, as well as being competitor, is profit of her drug cartel business. The existence of Kingsman will prevent them from operate business smoothly. Next, Charlie Heathgate. He works for the Golden Circle and wants to get the internal information of the Kingsman agent in order to eliminate all the secret agents and send a missile to the Kingsman headquarters office. So, for Charlie, his stake is to get the information as he will be rewarded. When Kingsman blew up, Poppy, as his employer, reward him with an upgraded robotic arm.
Next, I will explain ethical dilemma villain and hero. For villain, Poppy Adams is clearly unethical because she wants to legalize the drugs she created but cannot because drugs are prohibited in the US. There are two possibilities available to her. First, she should stop creating the drugs because she knows they are hazardous and will induce blue rashes and death in the user. Second, keep creating drugs since many people will buy them before killing them for business and personal gain. If the president agrees to cease the drug war and grant the Golden Circle immunity, she intends to develop an antidote that can cure individuals who use her drug. Clearly, she chose the second alternative. Poppy Adams grows greedy because she desired to rule the world. Next slide. For ethical dilemma hero, AC and Win, there are three ethical dilemma. First with Princess Tede. With the princess, AC had ethical issue. AC had to fool Charlie's girlfriend by sleeping with her in order to install a tracking device to find Poppy's hideout, although he was thinking about his fiancée, Princess Tede, at the time. He had two choices: continue his goal without telling Tide what he wanted to do right now, or tell Tide what he was going to do. Because as he loved Tilde, he chose the second alternative, which resulted in a fight in their relationship, and Tilde also took the drugs. Ethical dilemma with Merlin, Exy was torn between saving Merlin and continue with their mission. Exy, Merlin, and Harry had already planned how to get the antidote when they arrived at Poppyland. Poppy and Charlie will be fought by Halsey and Harry, while Poppy's security will be disrupted by Merlin. Halsey made a mistake by stepping on the landmine, and Merlin stepped in to carry out the plan. At that point, Halsey must choose between allowing Merlin to die or saving both Merlin and other people's life. Finally, Merlin sacrificed himself in order for Halsey to obtain the antidote. Lastly, the ethical dilemma with Whiskey. As Whiskey leveled a rifle at him and put a rope around Harry's neck, Elsie had an ethical problem about whether or not to trust him. When Elsie and Harry about to open the antidote case, Whiskey betrays them by revealing that he wants the case and plans to use it to kill and destroy all drug users in order to avenge the death of his wife and unborn child. He also wants the drug user to die so that people will look for alcohol, which will make him and other statements agent wealthy. This plan is interrupted by X's murder, as if he had not killed Whiskey, Whiskey will have succeeded in bringing closure for his deceased wife and unborn. Next slide.
Okay, consequentialism is an ethical theory that judges whether an action is right or wrong, depending on its consequences. It morally focuses on the consequences, where the more good consequences an act produces, the better or more right that act. Next slide. Next is the action taken by villain from consequentialist point of view. Okay, based on this movie, Poppy wants to legalize the drug trade so that her multi-million-dollar empire can operate freely in the United States. Her plan was not to kill every drug user on Earth, but to force the world governments to legalize all drug use everywhere and to abolish global drug prohibition. However, she needs to poison her own customers and held them as hostage to make drug trafficking legal. Here, Poppy chose to achieve her goals by harming her customer, which is not in the right course of action. It is because she has put her customer's life in danger and in pain for her own benefit. Therefore, consequentialism says that it's not the right thing to do even though she claims to have the antidote and is willing to give it to the entire world in exchange for the president to agree to end the war on drugs. It is because its negative consequences outweigh its favorable consequences. Therefore, what Poppy Adam has done is treated as unethical action as it brings negative consequences to the user, where the users will develop blue rash on their body before facing death through mania and paralysis. Poppy was also aware that her actions could result in her arrest and imprisonment. Okay, next slide.
Deontology. Deontology is the link between obligation and the morality of human activity emphasized in ethical theories. An action is considered morally good because of some characteristic of the action itself, not because the product of the action is good. Doesn't focus on the consequences of action. Next slide. Action taken by Exy and Win, which is hero from the theology point of view. Based on this movie, Exy and Merlin wanted to seek refuge for Kingsman as Poppy had fired a missile towards Kingsman headquarters and Exy was which wiped out all other super spies including Exy's best friend. They wanted to kill Poppy and Charlie to save others' lives by retrieve the antidote. Exy also killed Whiskey for betraying him and Harry as Whiskey also wanted the drug user to die. Therefore, despite the fact that Exy's actions save other people's lives, it is ethical from the ontological standpoint. It is because Exy disobeyed this rule. which state that everyone who breaks the law should be punished. Even if Exie was desperate at the moment, she should not have killed Poppy, Charlie, or Whiskey. All of the decisions are not in his control. Exie should defer to the professional authority, which is in this case is the police, to carry out their duties. Next slide.
Next is an ethical action based on Golden Rule. The Golden Rule states that you should treat others as you would like to be treated. If we were in the villain's shoes, the ethical action we would take based on the Golden Rule is that as a sellers, we must ensure that all products we sell are designed and manufactured for consumer safety. This is because we ourselves as consumers do not want to buy products that we think can be safe for us but can actually endanger our life. If we were the villain, we would feel guilty and ashamed because we are not being a responsible seller and have put the users who are our own customers in danger by selling a harmful product.
Okay, in addition, we also should make our decision wisely for the company and listen to others people's opinion as it would affect most of the users. Poppy Adams made her decision by her own for the Golden Circle, as a result being destroyed by Kingsman and become a bad reputation company. In making decision, she acts as if others managers do not exist. If we were in her place, we would feel humiliated and embarrassed because our decision and ideas have a bad impact on our own company's reputation.
Okay, thank you, Mira. So for conclusion, it is exciting to find out what we have learned in this movie. What in terms of business ethic, it is important for us to do the right thing at the right moment, as this decision is involved in our daily life and in the business environment. In this movie, especially Kingsman The Golden Circle, we can learn a lot about moral lessons such as utilitarianism and egoism. These moral lessons can want us to be moral people in our life. Meanwhile, ethic is the study of morality, which means the standards that an individual or a group has about what is right and wrong. And that's all from us. Thank you. Is there any question? Feel free to ask.
I have a question. My name is Aina from Group 7. Uh, my question is from this movie, is there any other unethical action committed by characters other than hero and the villain?
Thank you, Aina, for asking. Okay, yes, in this movie there is other unethical action made by other character, which is the president, where the president decides to quarantine every affected user in order to appear to be caving to Poppy's demand, while secretly intending to let all the affected user die in order to win the war against the drugs. This shows that the president is acting unethically in order to win the war on drugs and to maintain his position. Not only that, he also has been lying to his people, as he has been telling the world that he is going to agree with Poppy's deal so that he can get the antidote. But he just made that as an excuse for his own benefit and decide to let all the affected user die. Okay, thank you.
I am from Group 1. I want to ask why Statesman partners up with Kingsman.
Thank you for the question. Statement team up with Kingsman as one of the agent. Agent Valentine experienced the same fate as the other drug user. They formed an alliance since they had the same goal, which is to retrieve the antidote. Aside from that, the owner of the statement are in good term with the Kingsman because they are in the same field.
I am Aina Shafika from Group 3. What do you think about the stakeholders' expectation in Kingsman.
Your stakeholder expectation toward the Kingsman. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier in this slide or presentation, so the stake for employee is employee and their stake is their salary. So they will expect that Kingsman will give a raise in salary as well as title for their reputation. And then for external, for competitors, they will expect Kingsman to not disturb their drug cartel business operation. Is that answering your question?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, for your well done presentation. Okay. So that's from group 2, and then we can continue. Okay, with group 3.